There once was, my friends, a young prince who strode out one day with a quiver full of arrows and a strong bow. It was this mellow youth's wish to practice the marksmanship of the arrow until he could hit the mark. He began his journey in the bright light of morning. The earth seemed young about him, although it was early autumn. The dew was still upon the grass, and the air seemed full of promise, vague and unspoken, yet very real. As the youth walked through the forest, examining closely the many beautiful and wondrous details that nature had provided for your eyes to see, the nose to smell, the ears to hear, he stumbled upon a small patch of openness within the heart of the forest. And in this open place there arose before his wondering eyes a beautiful and bright entity that spoke of love to the youth. He was astonished and amazed, and at first would not believe he was seeing or hearing what his senses told him was to be. The prince's first thoughts after listening were to run, to leave, for this entity indeed must be a mad man, for it spoke of words not commonly spoken, and indeed he was a prince, and therefore he must not be influenced by such a man. But the prince did not run, but paused and listened and felt all that was spoken. He stayed, not knowing exactly why, for any sane person would flee from the opening to avoid this confrontation. The prince and the most fair entity communed in the forest, during which time our fair entity shared many thoughts with the prince, unfolded many a mystery that had puzzled the young man, much as a mentor would. The boy, at the end of some time of shared conversation, looked to the fair entity and asked, "Who might you be? How is it that you know all these wondrous things? Who is it that taught you, and where might I go to learn more of these things? How is it that you can be?" Our fair entity looked at the prince and explained that surely all these things the prince had learned this day, he had, inside, known all along. Nor had he taught the prince anything that the prince was not capable of learning himself. Then the fair entity turned the question upon the prince. "Since you, my young prince, have in truth known these seeming secrets I have shared with you this day, I ask you, who am I? For this too you know." The prince, puzzled by the question from such a seemingly wise and mysterious entity, looked back, puzzled, and looked in the eyes of this fair one, and in the locked stare seemed to be able to almost look within this other's soul. And what he saw when he looked within was himself. The young prince had begun that day, hoping to learn a skill with bow and arrow, and had found the mark he sought was himself. My friends, so it is with each seeker. You travel the path of your seeking using the implements of your choice to penetrate the mystery of your being. It may seem that the mystery of being would need a special tool, and only that tool would do for such a search. But, my friends, we say to you, the outer manifestation is meaningless, for the desire comes from within your being. To seek the truth is all that counts. You may use whatever tools are at your disposal and of your choosing, for each will find that catalyst most appropriate for its personal journey of seeking. To fire the self with the desire to know the truth of what it is you seek, and who indeed you are as you seek, is the ingredient that might find any manifestation appropriate within your journey. We thank each present for partaking with us in the bounty of oneness and in the abundance of love. We will now leave this group. As always, in love and light, I am known to you as Hatonn. Adonai, my friends, Adonai Vasubaragas.